Okay, so now it's recording. So basically, after every live lecture, I'm going to be recording. So I'm going to be recording everything, and I'll be uploading both the recording and the notes to WIO courses. And then we only meet live Monday and Wednesday, right? So on those days, I'll be doing that, and I'll be uploading everything probably a couple hours after the live lecture. And then for Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, right, we don't meet face-to-face. So what I'll do for those days is that I'll try to upload the lecture the day before. So for example, for the lecture on Tuesday, I'll try to upload it sometime tonight before midnight. And then it'll be there anytime starting at 12 a.m. on Tuesday. And then you just have to watch it anytime on Tuesday, anytime that works for you. So that's basically how it's going to work. So it shouldn't be too bad. I've done this twice already, not live, but at least the asynchronous where I upload the lectures and the notes. I did it in the spring because we were forced to, and then in the summer, and it worked pretty well for the most part. So I'm hoping it's going to work well this time as well. Okay, so let's start with, okay, so I see some hands raised. Is that because you have a question or because I asked you to raise it before? So for example, Alexander, you have your hand raised? Oh yeah, so you have to also click on lower hand, I think, afterwards, if your question is answered or if you don't have a question. Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah, we're kind of learning how to do this thing live. Okay. Oh, and I think I can also lower your hand manually. So Juan, do you have a question? Okay, so you can lower your hand. Okay, perfect, good. So what I'm going to do for today is I'm going to share the syllabus, and we're going to go over that. It's not very complicated. There's basically, I think the only complicated thing is going to be the exams because we're going to do proctoring through Zoom. But other than that, it shouldn't be too bad. So it's basically standard stuff if you're taking a class. If you haven't taken a class, then this is going to be your first introduction to basically how classes work here at UWIO. I'm sorry if you're a freshman and it's your first semester that you have to go through this whole COVID crisis. It kind of sucks, but at least I can say that the faculty here in the math department, we're trying very hard to make the classes as accessible to students as possible and to make them at the least complicated as possible. So again, I'm sorry, but hopefully this will be sorted out. If not spring semester, then by the next fall. So hopefully you won't miss much. But anyways, I'm sorry. And I know it's not ideal. And you're kind of, in a sense, not having the freshman experience for your first year. But again, we're at least the instructors in the math department, we're trying our best. I know that the university is trying their best to give you, the best experience you can have given the situation. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's start. So just to make sure you're in the right place, and you should be, because you can only access this Zoom link if you have an invitation, but this is Math 1450. My name is Jorge Flores, so you can call me George, you can call me Mr. Flores, either is fine. If you can pronounce Jorge, you can call me Jorge as well, but I'm fine with either way. For the office hours, they will be done via Zoom. They're to be determined right now. I will post them probably by Wednesday. And I'll also have a Zoom link, kind of like the one that's in the course homepage right now for the lecture. There will be a Zoom link for the office hour. Okay. Let's see. Okay, just checking if there's any questions right now. My email is here. You can feel free to email me anytime you have a question. The only thing that I ask, especially right now that we're going to be covering the syllabus, is that if there's a question that can be answered through the syllabus, like, how much are the exams percentages in terms of my grade? Or how are the exams going to work? All of that is going to be explained in the syllabus. So before you email me this first and second week, if you have a question that can be answered in the syllabus, please make sure to reread the syllabus first. And then if it's not answered, then email me. But if it is answered, then please just use that, because we have around, so in this class, we have like 27 students, and I'm also teaching just regular trigonometry, which has like 135. So I'm going to be getting a lot of emails. So the less cluttered my email is, the the best it is for everyone, because I can get to the questions that are not answered in the syllabus, because it might be that I forgot to add something or anything like that. So just that thing to keep track of. But other than that, feel free to email me, and I'm usually pretty good with answering emails. I work on my computer, whether it's classes or research, the whole time. So I'll answer pretty much within a couple hours, the latest. The prerequisites: you need a placement level 3 from the placement exam, an ACT math score 23 or greater. You can pass Math 925 with a C or better, or you can earn a D or better in Math 1400, which is college algebra, or Math 1405, which is trigonometry. I think this is the class that I prefer the most, because it basically combines both of these classes, and I think it's good. Even though we meet 5 days a week, although only twice live for us, it is 5 credits, so it's a little bit more work, but I think that the contents in college algebra and trig kind of make it so that it works to put it into one class. And I've taught this class before, and it went pretty well, and I enjoyed teaching it. The students liked it, so hopefully we can repeat that for this semester. Okay. Let's see what else. So the textbook, it's free, so you can either follow this link here, or you can go to My Open Math, which I'll explain in a moment. You can go to My Open Math, and then you'll see a link for the textbook there as well. It's a pretty good book, even though it's free. So I think this is the best option. We don't have to spend any more money, and especially now that a lot of us have been let off work and stuff like that. So I think this works pretty well, just having something that's free for the textbook. Now, for the grading policy, there's basically 4 exams. So the first 3 exams are worth 15% of your grade. The final exam is worth 20%. We're going to have written homework, and I'll explain how this is going to work. It's going to be 15%. My Open Math, again, I'm going to explain how it works in a moment. That's 15%. And then class participation is going to be 5%. So I'm still deciding how to do the class participation grade. What I'm thinking is probably something like, if you attend the class 90% of the time or more, then you get the full 5%. If you're between 80 and 89%, then you get like 4%, something like that. I'll make it more specific and the next couple of days, and then I'll post that in the syllabus, and then I will also let you know by writing how the class participation grade is going to work. So in terms of the grade, you can just estimate it by the usual. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, etc. And I believe you need a C or higher to use this class as a prerequisite for other math courses. So for example, if you're going to be taking Calculus 1, you're going to need to get a C or better in this class. I believe also, I don't know if it's a prerequisite for Business Calc, but for sure it is a prerequisite for Calculus 1. Okay. So let me stop there for a couple moments. Let me check if there are any questions. So I see something in the chat. Okay. So I think it's good for now. And if I missed your question, just interrupt me. Say, Mr. Flores, I have a question. Okay. So the lectures, as I said, they're going to be live on Monday and Wednesday, during the regular class time. And it's always going to be the same Zoom link. So you can just access the course homepage a couple minutes before class starts, and then click on the link there, and then you'll be sent to the Zoom meeting, kind of like what happened for today. And as I mentioned, for the other days, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we don't have a live lecture. So the day before, I'll be uploading the lecture and the notes for you to watch it on the corresponding day. So for example, today, but before midnight, I'm going to upload the lecture and the notes for you to watch tomorrow, Tuesday, in which we don't have a class lecture, a live lecture. On Wednesday night, I'm going to upload the notes and the lecture. And then you can watch it on Thursday. And then Thursday night, I will upload the notes in the lecture for you to watch it on Friday. And I will upload it on YO courses. It's just going to be on a module. So you're just going to click on modules, and you should be able to see the lectures there. So because of the participation, in terms of the live lectures, you're going to be required to attend. But I know that sometimes there's going to be like internet problems, or something else might be going on. So that's why I think that for the class participation, I'm going to make it like, okay, at least 90% of the time you attend. So that gives you a couple days that for whatever reason you can't make it. So that should be okay. I'm not going to penalize you for that. So something like that is still going to be the full participation. Another part of the participation, which is actually the way I'm going to be recording it, is we're going to be using a free software, which is called Poll Everywhere. I already made a tutorial video on that in the course homepage, but I'll talk about it a little bit as well today. Okay, so that's basically the lecture, so pretty straightforward. And again, on Monday and Wednesdays, I will also be recording the lectures and posting the notes. So that's the lectures. Are there any questions on that? Okay, so I think we're good there. Okay, so the exams, is, like I mentioned, this is going to be like the complicated thing, but hopefully not too bad. Basically, the way the exams are going to work is that we're going to do proctoring via Zoom. So because of this, I will require you to have a webcam. If you don't have a webcam, you can rent one out from the IT department. Just today, I posted the instructions on how to do this. It's pretty straightforward. If you're in Laramie, you can just go to their building, and I have the address in the instructions in Wire Courses, and then you can just ask, hey, I need to rent a webcam, and then they'll rent it for you. Same if you need a laptop. And all of the laptops also include webcams. So if you don't have a laptop or a webcam, you can also go to the IT department and then get one from there. If you're not in Laramie, then you can just email them and give them your physical address and whatever you need, whether it's a webcam or a laptop, and then they'll ship it to you. And they told me that the shipping is free for you, so they're going to be paying the shipping. So don't worry about that cost. It should be free for you. So make sure to do that. And if you're going to need a webcam or a laptop, you have to do it as soon as possible because it's basically first come, first served. So they only have a limited pool of webcams or laptops. The longer you wait, the most likely is that by the time you ask for one, it's already, all of them are already going to be rented out. Okay, so just be mindful of that. If you need one, make sure to request it as soon as possible. Okay. So the way the exams are going to work, and I might change this a little bit, but as of now, the exams are going to be administered through Wire Courses, right? So I'm going to basically use the quiz feature there, and we'll do a sort of test run before the first exam. But I'll do the quiz feature there, and then you'll be able to record your answers there. And then meanwhile, you're going to have to be in a Zoom meeting with me, kind of like what we're doing right now. And the only other thing that I'm going to ask is for you to have your webcam on and then facing you. And your workstation. So you and your workstation. That way I can see what you're doing. And it's just to deter cheating a little bit. The other option was to use HonorLock, which is a little bit more intrusive. So I thought that this is a little bit better. With HonorLock, you have to have a webcam and as well, but you also have to record your whole room at first. And then there's an AI that's keeping track of everything you do. So I think this is a little bit less intrusive. And since we have less than 30 students, so we shouldn't have any problems in terms of lag in the Zoom meeting. And if for some reason you can't make it because you're having internet problems or something like that, then I would probably just ask you to record yourself with your phone or something like that, and then upload that or send it to me. And that way I know that you weren't cheating, for example. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I think it should work fine. It's the first time I'm trying it, but I think it will work okay. I know that other people in other universities have tried it with good amounts of success. So hopefully we can recreate that here. Even though the exam, as of now, it's going to be done on Wire Courses, so it's going to be done on your computer. In order for me to be able to give you partial credit, what you're going to be doing is you're also going to be writing down your work and solutions on a separate sheet of paper. And I'll talk about how this is going to work, how I want you to write down your work and how you're going to submit this when I talk about the written homework. But basically, once the exam is over, the exam time, I'm going to give you an extra hour to scan your work and upload it to the assignment in Wire Courses. And you'll see the assignment there. And I'll give more details about this once the exams are closer. And I'll also give you the dates in a moment. I already know what dates they are. I just haven't uploaded them on Wire Courses. But if you want to have a rough idea, the first exam is going to be September 24th, the second, October 22nd, the third, November 19th. And then the final, I don't know if we have a scheduled time for the final for this class. If there's a scheduled time, we will just use that one. If there's no scheduled time for us, then we're just going to do it December 10th. So you don't have to memorize that. I will put those dates, today in Wire Courses, just so you have an idea. So for sure, before the 24th of September, you're going to have a working webcam and a laptop, right, to access Zoom, or a desktop or a tablet, something that has internet connection. Okay. So I'll talk more about the scanning as well later. And like I said, in terms of how I want you to submit your work, I'm going to talk about that in the next section on the written homework. But other than that, it's going to be that. I don't like to make difficult exams. So you're not going to find anything in the exam that's not like something we've either seen in lecture or something that you've seen in the homework, the written homework, or in my open math. So no tricky questions, something like that. I like to make my exams pretty fair. So it should be good. If you studied for the exam, then you should get a good grade. I've definitely been in classes where I've studied a lot and then I see a curveball in the exam that I've never seen before and I don't know how to answer it. So that's not going to happen in this test. But make sure to study, right? Because even though they're fair, if you haven't studied, of course, it's very likely you're not going to get a good grade. Now, attendance for the exam is mandatory. It's required. The only reason in which I would accept you not to take the exam on the date, barring any sort of Zoom problems, in which, again, I will just ask you to record yourself if possible. The only other way I would actually accept an excuse to not take the exam on the set date is if you have a verifiable working excuse, or something that actually it makes sense, kind of like, I had an accident and I can't make it. As long as it's somewhat verifiable, that should work. Something that wouldn't work as an excuse is, for example, if I woke up late, then that's not going to be a verifiable excuse. Also, a excused absence that is given by the university, and that has to be cleared through the Dean of Students office. So this is, for example, for athletes, this is something you would have to do. That would count as a university excused absence, right? So those are basically the only two options for you to schedule makeup. Either you have a university excused absence or a real situation in which you have a verifiable excuse, and it's something that makes sense, and for you to miss the exam because of that. Okay, so I think I saw some chat things here, so let me check. Let me check the chat. Okay, does anyone have any questions on the exams? And I'll make things more clear closer to the next exam. I'll give proper, more specific instructions and all that. But any questions on that? Okay.
So will most of the classes take place in person, or will they be for the majority of the time through Zoom?
So the live lectures through Zoom are only going to be Monday and Wednesday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to upload lectures I just recorded and then upload it to WIO courses, and then you can watch them in WIO courses. So the only time you have to be here for Zoom lectures is Monday and Wednesday. Any other questions?
None that I have. Thank you.
Okay. So now written homework. So basically, you're going to be assigned written homework every Friday, and it's going to be due the next Friday. So you're going to have a week to do the homework. So for example, I'm going to assign you a written homework on the 28th. That's this Friday. And it's going to be due September 4th, which is the Friday of next week. These homeworks are not going to be very long. They're probably going to be 2 problems tops. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one to grade, whichever I think is best in terms of seeing how your mathematical writing is. And that's going to be the main goal of written homework. The main goal is going to be for me to give you feedback on how your mathematical writing is, and how to improve it, so that by the end of this class, hopefully, you know how to present your ideas and your work in a legible, organized manner with correct mathematical notation. And this is one of the most important things that you're going to learn in this class, because this is going to help you for basically all of the classes you're going to do in the future. If they involve anything that you have to do any mathematics that you have to present to your instructor or someone else, then knowing how to do that in a legible, organized way, it's going to help a lot. And this is one of the things that I like to focus in all of my classes, whether they're lower level or more on the higher level classes. I like to make sure that my students learn how to write and how to express their ideas. Of course, since this is a freshman class, I won't be too harsh on the grading. But I will, especially for the first 1 or 2 homeworks, I won't be very harsh. But definitely as we go on and I give you more and more feedback, if you're not using that feedback and applying it to your homework, I will start taking points off because of that. Okay? So the way the homework is going to work, And this is where the submission is going to be important. So everything is going to be submitted in Wire courses. So I'm going to set up the assignments there, and then you'll have the deadline and everything available. And you're going to be doing your work on a separate sheet of paper. Now, ideally, I want you to do your work on a plain white printing paper, so a regular white sheet of printing paper, and I want you to write it in pencil. I can accept ink as long as there's no scribbles or anything like that. And then if you are comfortable using any typeset, whether it's LaTeX, Word, or anything like that, you can also typeset your homework. I doubt many people have had an experience with typesetting, so it's fine if you want to do it in just plain white paper with pencil. And again, ink is fine. You just don't have any sort of scribbles. I want you to think of your submission as kind of like a final draft of a project where it looks as good as it can look. Okay. Now, in terms of how you're going to submit it, I will only accept scanned material. Now, the way I want you to scan things, and I'll talk about it, actually, let me skip to it now. I think here under technology. Yeah, so for the scanning, there's two things you can do. The first option is you can scan it with a regular scanner. I think that the library has scanners, so if you're on campus or in Laramie, you can just go to the library. If you're not in Laramie and you don't have access to a printer, then the next best thing you can do is use a scanner app on your phone. There are a couple free apps. For example, if you have a Gmail account, and you can have Google Drive on your phone, and Google Drive has a free scanning app. There are also other scanning apps you can use. I have links for some of them and how to use them in the course homepage. And I used this in the summer class in terms of submitting work and using these scanner apps, and it worked pretty well. So hopefully there won't be any problems with that. And I will only accept things like this. The problem with taking pictures of your work and just uploading a picture is that it doesn't get the contrast very well when you try to contrast the paper with your writing. So a lot of times it makes it very hard to read. What the scanning does is that it increases the contrast between your actual writing and what's just background. So it makes it a lot easier to grade. So definitely make sure to scan it. If you upload a picture, maybe if it's the first week, I will grade it. But other than that, I will not grade anything if it's not scanned. Also, when you scan it, sometimes even though it looks good on your paper, it might look a little bit blurry in the scan. So you have to make sure to verify and check that your work it's legible before you actually upload it. For the most part, it should work well, but sometimes, for example, if you write very soft, it could be a problem. So just before you submit it, just make sure that your scan is actually legible. Also make sure that all of your pages are in the right orientation. So I've had situations where the students upload things, like rotated counterclockwise or clockwise by 90 degrees or something like that. So make sure that it is in the right orientation. That makes it easier for me to grade. That's basically the sort of quotations hard thing about the homework, the fact that you have to scan it. But again, the scanning apps worked very well last semester. I didn't have any problems for the summer. So I'm hoping that it can work well for this semester as well. Okay. So other than that, again, the homeworks will be uploaded every Friday, due the next Friday. The reason I do it that way is because mostly students start working on their homework, close to the deadline. So I want to make the deadline on the week so that you can go to the CASM, which is a tutoring center for math that we have. There's also step tutoring, or that you can ask me questions. I'll talk more about those resources later. But that's basically how the written homework is going to work. Again, it's going to be short. It's going to be mostly to give you feedback on your mathematical writing. So this is not going to be a very big time commitment. So still make sure to do your best work as possible and make a good presentation, because again, it is 15% of your grade. Okay. So any questions on the written homework? Okay, so I see a question here on the chat. What if we need more time to understand a test? So I believe that, so usually I'm going to be giving a 2-hour window to complete the exam. That should be more than enough. I always write the exam so that they take around 1 hour to 1 hour and 30 minutes to complete. So usually 2 hours is enough. However, if we have any students that might have some sort of disability, which does require them to have more time, then you can contact, and I have the resource here, you can contact the Disability Center, UDSS, and then if you need more time, like 2x time or something like that, then they let me know, and then I just put that into Wire courses. But for the most part, 2 hours should be enough. So, and I'll make sure to make the exams and complete them myself to make sure that 2 hours is more than enough time for you to complete it. Okay. Are we allowed to use the note card for the exams? So the exams are going to be, and thank you, I forgot to mention this, the exams are going to be open book and open notes. So you're going to have access to your book, you're going to have access to the lectures on WIO courses and the notes. So you can have a note card if you want, definitely, but you also have everything available. So you don't have to worry too much about that. The only thing is that I won't allow any sort of outside resources for the exam. So you can't Google, like, how do I do this problem? And I'll be making up the problems myself. So, even if you Google it, it might not be very useful for you. You definitely can't have someone, texting you answers or stuff like that. And that's partly why I want to do the Zoom proctoring. At least that way I know that it's you taking the exam. I know that there's not someone, beside you, telling you how to do the exam. And I will also have you sign an honesty pledge. Which is very, very straightforward. I'm basically going to tell you, hey, so there's this academic honesty regulation at the university. So I want you to say that you are aware about this, and that if you're caught cheating, that you will have, there'll be repercussions. But for the most part, the exams, again, they're not going to be that bad, and they're going to be open book, open note, and you're going to have enough time to complete them. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. As long as you study, you should be good. So any questions on the exams or written homework? Okay, and now that I see it, it's hard for me to see the hand raise on even on my tablet. So I think the best way to ask me questions is either through the chat or by talking to me. So try to do that if you can. If you have a question, write it in the chat, or answer me when asked for. If anyone has any questions. Okay. Now, the other part of the homework is going to be My Open Math homework. Now, My Open Math is a free software. You're going to have to register for this, but I already have a tutorial video on how to register, and I also have a module in WIO course, and you can just access it in the homepage that gives you the course ID and the course key, and you're going to need both to register. Now, let me show you how this looks, how My Open Math looks. So when you access My Open Math, it's going to look like this. Let me make sure that everyone's seeing the right thing here. Okay, so I think can everyone see My Open Math here? Okay, good. Yeah, so it's basically going to look like this. There are a couple of things. There's a calendar here, and I'm also putting these dates on the course calendar in WIO courses, so you don't have to pay attention to this if you want, but if you do, it's another reminder. And then basically it's going to look something like this. This is all you're going to need. There's a grade book here, which you can use if you want, but all of the grades, I'm going to be copying them from here and putting in the grade book in WIO courses. So basically the only thing you really need this My Open Math for is to complete the My Open Math homeworks. So the way it's going to work is, so there's a couple of tabs here. There's course information. If you click on the course information, you're going to have a link to the textbook. Right? So the same link that you have in the syllabus. You're going to have a solution manual for some of the problems in the book. There's going to be an intro to My Open Math homework, which I didn't know what this was. I forgot about it when I recorded my video on the tutorial for My Open Math. So I would recommend that you do this. I won't require it or do it for a grade, but basically what this is an assignment that helps you and teaches you how to submit answers in My Open Math. So a lot of the things are very intuitive, but some other things might not be as intuitive. So I would definitely recommend doing as much as you can from this assignment. You don't have to complete all of it, but just do a couple problems. Make sure that you understand how to put in the math notation in the homeworks here, and then you should be good. Finally, there's some textbook errata. So there are some problems in the book that are not correct. So this is telling you which ones are not correct. Let me see. We have announcements in WIO courses about exams and due dates. Yeah, so all of the due dates are already set up in WIO courses. Sorry, not all of them. The first two chapters. So chapters 1 and 2 due dates are already in WIO courses. And the exam due dates I'm going to upload later today. But I already have those set up. I just have to upload them in WIO courses. And yes, there is homework outside My Open Math. That's the written homework. But other than the written homework and the homework in My Open Math, that's all you have to do. Okay. Now there's another, so that's a course information tab. There's another tab here which basically has some math videos if you want to see more math videos, but the ones I'm going to be uploading should be enough. There's other calculus or pre-calculus books. There's links to Math Academy, Wolfram Alpha, and online graphing calculator. So it's useful things that you might need, as you go through this class. Okay. And then finally, there's chapter 1. So basically, when you click on a chapter, you're going to see a couple of sections. And then let's say you want to start working on chapter 1, section 1. So you click on section 1, and you're going to see a video lesson option, which I'm going to record the video for this and upload it. So this is basically a link. It's going to be a link to my YouTube channel where you're going to see the videos. But the videos here are exactly the same videos that I'm going to be posting on Wyo Courses. So you don't have to use this if you don't want to. They're posted in Wyo Courses. But I did hear last summer that the quality in YouTube might look a little bit better than the quality in Wyo Courses. I don't know if that's true. But if you want to watch things on YouTube, you can use this link. Or if you want to watch things on Wyo Courses, it's going to be the same videos. So in each of these tabs, you're going to have the video link and also the assignment. And the assignment is going to tell you the due date. So for example, the first assignment is due on Wednesday and they're all going to be due at midnight, right? So that's never going to change. So first assignment is going to be due Wednesday. If you click on it, it's going to show you what the problems are. And very, very simple stuff. So things that we're going to be covering in the course. So there shouldn't be too many problems in terms of completing this. Again, the only thing that might give you problems is putting in notation. But for that, you can, again, do this assignment, Intro to My Open Math, and also email me if you have any questions regarding the notation. So I have another question here. When will you open the class on My Open Math? What is the class ID? So the class ID and key are already in the course homepage in Wyo Courses. There's a link there that says course ID and key. You just click on that and the information is there. So you will need that to register. And I also recommend that you watch the video also in the course homepage that says tutorial on how to register. It's very easy, but it does walk you through it a little bit. And then that's basically it. You're just going to be doing each of these sections, and the due dates, again, they're posted here. They're posted in the calendar and My Open Math, and they're also posted in the calendar in Wyo Courses. Okay, so there's another comment here. The different color boxes in the calendar of My Open Math mean anything? I think they do mean different things. I think red means that the due date is very soon. Orange means that it's relatively soon. Yellow is soon, but a little bit further away. So it's basically the closer the color is to red is the closer the deadline is. At least I think that's what it is, although there's another color here. But for the most part, I think that is what's going on, that the closer the due date is, the more intense the color is. Okay. The Wyo Courses says it hasn't been unlocked yet on that link. That My Open Math hasn't been unlocked? Is that what it says? Or what hasn't been unlocked?
When I go to the page and click the course ID and key, it says that part of the page module hasn't been unlocked yet.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I will unlock that as soon as we're done with the lecture. So sorry. Okay. And then, so as soon as I unlock that, that's the first thing I would do if I were you, just try to register to My Open Math. Watch the video first, just so that they can walk you through, and then you can register as you watch the video. And then if you have any problems, then just let me know, and then we should be able to sort them out. But it should work without many issues. And then, like I said, the first 2 chapters are already here, so you can see the calendar actually goes pretty far in terms of what homeworks are already due. So we have homeworks already set all the way up to September 18th. And now we'll keep on adding homeworks to this until they're all complete. Okay. So that's My Open Math. Again, the real use of My Open Math is just to complete the My Open Math homeworks. There's links to the videos and there's the course calendar, but you can see all of that also in Wyo Courses. So the main purpose is for you to complete the My Open Math homeworks. Okay, any questions on My Open Math? Okay, now we only have a couple minutes left, so let me go to let me see. I think I already covered the big things anyways. I mentioned class participation. Make sure to read the late policy. Basically, just like with exams, there's no late homework, whether it's written or in My Open Math, will be accepted unless you have a verifiable excuse or a university excused absence. And again, those have to be cleared through the Dean of Students office. The other thing to be careful, and it kind of catches some freshmen by surprise, is that this is a 5 credit hour class, right? That means that in terms of the workload, you're going to have to work more on this class than you're going to be working on your other, for example, 3 credit courses. On average, so the average student should expect to spend around 20 hours a week working on this class. It might take you less, it might take you a little bit more, but on average, you want to expect around 20 hours. Again, this is because it's a 5 credit hour class. In terms of getting help, the best place to get help is the office hours, right? So my office hour. We won't have SI for this class, so I'll remove this from the syllabus. You don't have to worry about that. The CASM is the second next best option. I'll have more information about the CASM a little bit later, and I will also upload a extra credit assignment where you just have to go to the CASM and introduce yourself to the tutors and also ask them some questions. Technology, I mentioned the webcam, I mentioned the scanning. I didn't have time to go through Poll Everywhere today, but it's very easy to use. We'll start using it on Wednesday. There's a tutorial video already on the course homepage, so make sure to look over that. And then we'll talk about the course of the goals of Math 1450 on Wednesday when we start going over the material. You can also see a list of the topics we're going to cover, a list of Zoom responsibilities. So basically, just be responsible with Zoom because we can hear you if you have your microphone and we can see your webcam. And that's basically it. There's resources at the end for disabilities, counseling, the UWPD. But that's basically how the course is going to run. So I think that's about time. Class ends at 2:10. So if you have any questions, make sure to read over the syllabus, especially the parts that I skipped over. After that, if you still have questions, please email me. I will unlock anything that has to be unlocked. Make sure to register to my Open Math, and then we should be good to go. I'm pretty excited about the class. It's a fun class to teach, and the students usually enjoy it. So I hope it goes well. So having said that, I'm going to stop the recording now, and I'm going to stop the Zoom meeting. So I'm going to click on stop the meeting, so everyone's going to be kicked out, basically. Okay. I will upload the video for today on WIO courses, and you should get the notification, and I will also email you every time I upload the videos. I will also send you an email saying, hey, I've uploaded the videos. You can watch them. Okay. So thank you all. I hope you have a good rest of the day and that your semester goes well. If you have any questions, please email me.